Hello everyone and welcome back to the Silicon Nubian channel where we do all things tech. Continuing on our Linux distribution reviews and kicking the tires, we have a first look at a distribution I'm not familiar with, although I am familiar with what it's based on. Today we have OBRevenge. OBRevenge is an Arch Linux based desktop distribution featuring a custom desktop environment based on the Openbox window manager and an easy-to-use system installer, Calmaris. In a previous video, I showed installing a Linux distribution via the Calmaris installer and came away very impressed. This is OBRevenge version 2017.05, so the May 2017 released. How they present their distribution, and I'll quote, "Almost everyone uses a computer, but we all have our own individual needs, whether you need an operating system for programming, word processing, and office work, or simply for surfing the web and chatting with friends on social media. OBRevenge OS has you covered. The best part is you get to choose what software you want to use for all your needs." So, here we go. What I take away from that is that OBRevenge basically leaves a lot of the software choices up to you, and you can tailor the OS the way you want it to. I have to point out that there are other versions of OBRevenge that use, I think, KDE and another, I can't remember what it is exactly at the moment, but this is their main version using the customized Openbox window manager, which does promise low system overhead and lots of performance. So this is what you see when you boot in. You have the OBRevenge welcome, which is very interesting. We're going to get to that in a second. We have a very nice textured background, and we'll get to everything. I must point out that this is the first time I'm using OBRevenge as well, so you get to see it as I see it. So I'll poke around and see what's available. Here we have a system information section over here. So we can see uptime, RAM, 371 megs of 4 gig. Not too bad. For Openbox, I still consider that a little bit on the higher side, but with respect to the vast majority of window managers and GUI combinations, that's very, very low. Swap usage is 0. Root, homepage, CPU average is 0%. Updates available 24. Nice, so we have that right here. Shortcut keys, here's for your terminal, file manager, and all, etc., etc. I like that. Very good. At the top, we have the taskbar properties. We can put separators. We can pretty much change it the way we want. Right side looks like we have four virtual desktops, or 4 desktops to work with. Okay, we have the time. Of course, clicking on it brings up the calendar, and of course properties, as it does in most other distributions. Here we have the network connection, wired connection, disconnect. We have VPNs. You can add a VPN connection if you wish. Enable networking. Once we right click instead of left click, we have these, edit connections and whatnot. Here it looks like update manager. Very good. Searching the repository. Right. While it's doing that, we can talk about some of the changes in this version versus the previous version of OBRevenge. They've fixed bugs with hotkeys. Of course, they've moved to the Calmaris installer. Fixed bugs related to hotkeys, changing desktop settings, Bluetooth support, updated software install tool, which we see here, and added more support for multimedia, keyboards, keys, added GUI screenshot tool, added more touchscreen drivers, Linux kernel 4.10.13, so very current. Updated composting configuration for better hardware support. Remove comp is still available though in the repository. So here we see have 24 updates available. Being an Arch Linux based distribution, of course, OBRevenge is a rolling release. Install once and just keep updating it to get the latest version. So we just click apply. We can see there are 50.3 megabytes of updates to download, 24 updates available. this is the really interesting part. Sorry about that. What we have here is the welcome screen, and this is their claim to fame, also something that they've put out, which I like very much. Here we have, here we have, if you want VirtualBox modules, and this is running in a virtual machine. Here we have Update System, which will start the System Update Manager, which we just saw before. Software installation tool, which we'll go through in a second. Join G+ community, NVIDIA drivers. Interesting, no AMD drivers, but the NVIDIA driver, which will pull up an installer. Interesting. If you, for the proprietary NVIDIA drivers, offline users guide, online users guide, and here's the software installation tool. So there's the update manager again informing me that we have 24 updates available. So here we have the tool, and it's in categories. They have internet, so we have Google's Chrome, Chromium. We have Google Chrome, the open source version, and the closed source Chrome, Chromium and Chrome, Firefox, Midori, Quipzilla. We have Evolution, we have Thunderbird, that's good, that's one I use. Transmission, Qubit Torrent, Hex Chat. Media, we have GIMP, VLC, Totem, Parole, Spotify, Clementine, one of my favorite media players. Gthumb, Rosetta, Audacity, and whatnot. I noticed that there's no extended info if you click on any of these. Just you have to know what the program is if you like it. Yeah, we have LibreOffice, very good. We have Calligra, Office, Abbey Word, GNumeric, PDF Mod, FB Reader. So what I'm seeing here is their offerings are not as extensive, at least with respect to using their software installation tool as in some other distributions. I'd love to know, and if people can inform me, what repositories that OBRevenge uses. If it uses the Arch repositories, including the AUR, sorry, then there's a lot more software available than just this. And we're going to test that in a second. So here we have, up here, of course, the window. So this tool is very interesting in the beginning, although with respect to software that's offered, it's quite sparse. If you were to come here as a new person to Linux or fairly new, there's really not a lot of choice for you right there. I should have continued up here. We have Clipboard Manager, sound, of the sound volume. On the left click, right click, we can pull up volume control and preferences right here. And we have battery and monitor right here if you're plugged into UPS or you're using this on a portable like a laptop. So let's go into the menu here. So favorites, and there's something I want to do right here. We'll see. So yes, indeed, Pacman is installed. Pacman is the file manager. Sorry, it's not file manager. Program manager, applications manager, installer, uninstaller from Arch Linux. So Pacman is available. It's showing us that there are 25 updates instead of 24. So Pacman is available. Of course, again, I'd still like to see what repositories Pacman is using. If it's using the Arch Linux repositories, then the sky's the limit. So let's look at what's available in the freshly installed system. Accessories of the Archive Manager, Bulk Rename, X-Compositor, Conky, Theme Manager. Control Center, we'll get to that too. Manage Disks and Media, Docky, Files Access. It's File Manager right here. Properties, So they just call it Files version 3.24.1. Access and organize your files. It's called Files, Copyright, Files, Author. Okay. Not much to say on that in that regard. We'll continue with accessories, calculator, install OBRevenge as a basic installer, LeafPad, simple text editor, logout utility, nitrogen, browse and set desktop backgrounds. Okay, here we have it. These are not done in real time, as in some Linux distributions. But still, they look like they have some very, very high quality backgrounds here. So that's interesting. Continue with the accessories, desktop, workspace settings, OBRevenge OS, graphical flash installer. I guess you graphical installer for installing OBRevenge on a flash drive, grub configuration. Okay. So a lot of utilities are included. A lot of little tools to do different things are included. Software installation tool, which we saw before. Performance is quite snappy, even in a virtual machine. Of course, we have the Clipboard Manager here, the welcome, which we have right here, screenshot, search, Thunar File Manager. So Files is not the only file manager available. There's two of them. Thunar 1.6.11 is also available for use. It's a very capable file manager. Move into development, icon browser, Qt4 designer and whatnot. Internet. We have Google Chrome. Okay. Chrome seems to work well. Okay. Okay, Chrome works very well. Not much else though. We'd have to install, of course, if you want email and whatnot, I believe. Maybe that wouldn't be under internet. Multimedia is sparse. This is one of the things you can see that they're living up to what they said with respect to allowing you, the user, to put whatever you want. You can see that the multimedia section you'd have to add. I'd probably add Clementine, maybe VLC, a few other things. Settings, we have a control center. We're going to go in there in a second. System, add, remove software. Once again, this looks more like a graphical front end for Synaptic, of course. And here are the repositories: core, extra, community, revenge repo, not familiar, multilib. They're all named exactly as the Arch ones, so maybe they are. Go into that. Oh, the AUR is here as well. Very good. So, from what I'm seeing, it seems that OBRevenge does use the Arch Linux repositories. If that's the case, then you can install, wow, there's thousands of applications available for you to install and programs. Gparted, HTOP. I noticed that it's very heavy on utilities and very light on user space programs like word processors and whatnot. Okay, let's go into the settings manager. We'll get rid of this. Performance is quite snappy. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. So this is the control panel. Pleasantly looking, a little cartoonish, but still nice. Here we have system info. Okay, model, OBRevenge, kernel, and it is using the Arch kernel. Okay, system monitor, just like top, or whatever. Okay, so we have a panel switcher, notifications. So here we go. Let's go through the tabs. Customization. It's the first tab. We can customize notifications, panel switcher, themes, Qt themes, wallpaper, desktop manager. And of course, there is some security there. Very good. System, we have networks, auto start, power manager, preferred applications. Okay. Printer settings. The typical printer setting box that pops up in so many other distributions. Desktop effects, users and groups, display settings, Openbox, key bindings. Okay. Software. We have firewall. So that must be a firewall configuration tool. Rules and all that. Very good. OBRevenge mirrorless tool. We'll sort the 100 fastest Arch Linux mirrors and write them to Pacman. Okay, very good. So it is using the Pacman repositories, the Arch Linux repositories, and that tool will allow you to configure Pacman to use the fastest, well, usually it's the nearest repositories available. OBRevenge software tool, once again, comes up in a few different places. Software Manager, here he is, right here. Software Update, and OBRevenge Wallpaper Download. Okay, this is an application to automatically download 10 random wallpapers from the website Interface Lift. Nice. And let's go into OBR tools, and these are tools specific to OBRevenge, I would think. Codex Installer. Very good. Install. Yes, please install Codex. Would you like to install the most commonly used multimedia codecs? Some of these may include some proprietary software. Okay, get you started. The one negative I saw about that, it wouldn't let you pick and choose exactly. It's either yes you want them or no you don't. Desktop activity, assist you making configuration changes to your desktop. You can choose the number of virtual desktops, allow changing virtual workspaces, allow changing workspaces using the mouse wheel, yes or no. Okay. NVIDIA drivers, we saw that. Flash installer. Would you like to install Flash? Yes, no. Bootloader configuration. Grub, and it uses Grub. Interesting. VirtualBox drivers. Kernel manager. I think I know what this might be. You have a selection of kernels that allow you to install. Zen kernel. Very nice. Live USB creator. Good to have that as well. Terminal tweaks. Interesting. So what we have here, in the beginning I thought, I don't know how this is, but I'm very impressed in how comprehensive all these tools are. And being Arch Linux, you can install any version of OBRevenge and install any GUI you want. Sorry about that. So what I'm seeing here, I'm going to try to draw a conclusion. Right click on the desktop, we can access the file manager, files. Although we have Thunar and we've seen that. Okay, control panel, which we just saw before. Very good. And we have access to all the programs we saw before. Very good. Firewall config, tint 2 settings. Okay. Interesting. A lot of stuff to play with here. OB menu generate. Oh, we even have a menu generator. And Openbox settings here. Screenshot, lock, conky, exit. Okay, let me draw a conclusion. Performance. Even in a VM running on my Ryzen 1700X, performance is quite snappy. Very snappy. I'd have no doubt in my mind that running on real hardware, lesser hardware, that it would run very well as well. Most definitely. With respect to software included, if you're into tools and utilities, OBRevenge has you covered. I don't think you really need to install much more than what it has for the average user. In fact, it might be too much of a good thing. But that's not a negative. I'm not going to take off points for that. Maybe half a point for confusing a new user, but I don't believe OBRevenge is for a brand new user. Others may disagree with me. It is a great start to get into Arch. The configuration tools that we saw in the OS control panel are quite good. It's organized and looks different than most others I've seen, but while looking through it, it becomes, I'd have to say it leans towards the intuitive side. I like it. I like it. Performance we've gone through, included applications. Well, make it whatever you want to make it. I'll show you once more. We could see when we go to things like multimedia, there's really not much there. Internet, really not much there except a browser that people would use. E-links, of course, that's a text mode browser. Multimedia, development, accessories, there's a lot of accessories, but most of these are utilities. So there's no Office suite as far as I can tell, but OpenOffice is available. Sorry, LibreOffice, not OpenOffice. And since you have access to the Arch repositories, including the Arch user repository, the sky's the limit with respect to anything you may want to install. So in conclusion, how would I rate this? It's sticky because there are some Arch Linux derivatives. One that I use, Manjaro, which I like very much. There's also a few others as well. If you look on my channel, you'll see others that I've reviewed or take a look at. Once again, I'm seeing this when you're seeing this, the user, the visitor to my channel. So I want to hear your comments. What do you think of OBRevenge? Is it something you would install? If so, tell me why. If not, tell me why. Post it. If you liked the video, thumbs up. Tell your friends about this channel. We are growing. We have 2 other computer builds coming up. If you saw recently, we had my personal Ryzen 1700X, sorry, 1700, not X, build, which this is running on right now. Going to have a recap of that later. We have a few more Linux distributions that we want to definitely take a look at and try to grow this channel exponentially. So take care. OBRevenge. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's difficult. I'd probably give it a 7. It's pretty good, but not something that hasn't been done before, except that configuration tools are very good, if a little sparse on information. Like I said, for example, installing Codex, it's basically telling you yes or no. There's no real choice other than yes or no. So, in the case of the included software, I'd say that you can pretty much make it what you want. The utilities are already there, which I think is the best thing, the best balance. You have the utilities to get stuff done very quickly and assuredly, but the user space programs, the browsers, you have one browser, the email clients, the multimedia stuff, it's not there, but it's available. The biggest plus I can say for OBRevenge is two-pronged. A, performance is stellar, and B, the Arch repositories for Arch Linux are right there at your fingertips. So take care, everybody, and thanks for watching the video, and see you soon.